let me introduce you to some of the cool vehicles that we saw here at ACT Expo. We're at Indigo Tech. They have this little smaller cargo van here. I think that's really cool. But of course, this was something that they unveiled today that's coming out in 2027. Looks very aero and cool. I think it looks fantastic. I wouldn't mind having one myself, but apparently it has something called a smart wheel. So we're going to dive in and learn all about these vehicles as well as what they mean by a smart wheel. I'm excited. This is a very cool looking vehicle from Indigo Tech. It's coming in 2027. So we're here with Will, the CEO and chairman of Indigo Tech. So let's start with this, but you guys have a lot of cool stuff here, but you want to tell us about this one here?
Sure, we have a lot of cool stuff. And what's really unique about this particular vehicle, it is powered by a smart wheel technology that was invented out of MIT. I was a graduate of MIT in 2000, and it's been 25 years of entrepreneurship. And my focus has been turning inventions into innovations.
Very cool.
And the difference is basically inventions, there are lots of them, and innovations are simply inventions that made it into the marketplace, got mass adoption, and made an impact.
Yeah.
There are many inventions, but very few innovations because the journey is very, very difficult.
Yeah. We were at CES and they were talking about, like, I think 1 out of 5 things that you see at CES will actually still be around in 5 years.
Yes.
Because it's a very big, long path to go from, like, let's show it on a show floor to getting it out there.
Yeah, to creating impact in the marketplace and create mass adoption. So what we have, I've been doing this now for 25 years since MIT, and my last 4 companies have been very fortunate. Every one of them have been able to make it from the invention stage to the innovation stage. My last one being Samsung Pay, that acquired my company that helped them compete against Apple Pay with this tap and pay solution that worked in most places. But what got me involved in Indigo Technologies was the invention of this smart wheel technology. So you see the smart ride,
right?
And the smart wheel technology means that we're the first company in the world that has created an in-wheel motor that also moves up and down. So I'm going to show you in a little bit about how the smart wheel technology works. But what it does is it frees up all of the space in between the wheel so that you can move the driver more forward and still have this impact crush zone where he's protected or she's protected. And pass safety tests where a lot of the corner test is where is the wheel going to go, for traditional passenger vehicles and vehicles that are on the road. So we have actually a safer solution for the driver. You see that, come over here and you can see the driver has a very easy ingress and much protection from side impact. And of course, corner impact, you have the safety of not having to get the wheels crushed onto you and have the safety cage in front.
Yeah.
And the center driving seat also allows you to go in and out on either side. So that means being able to ingress and egress if you're driver or delivery, whichever side is safer.
Right.
And you can see the amount of space that we have also because of the smart wheels technology. Driver can be more forward, so all that space in the back are freed up for passengers or freed up for cargo. And the low flat floor also means that we've got the ability for the chairs to move back and forth on rails.
Oh yeah, we see that.
Very flexible.
Including the
driver's seat. And this particular vehicle is meant for ride hail.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting here, look at the visibility that you have as, a passenger.
Yeah, and actually, because I could sit up and I'm like, I see out ahead, and of course with the glass roof and everything, it actually has an excellent visibility. Here, I'm going to just pull this from Liv and this is my view from back here. And you can see I'm sort of seated a little bit higher.
And a huge amount of leg room.
Huge amount of leg room, of course. And then just from here, I think that's like really crucial. I didn't think about that, but like you don't have an E motor in the middle and an E axle because it's over here on the smart wheel. So very, very cool.
And then one additional thing is all of this is drive-by-wire, steer-by-wire, brake-by-wire, and it's ready for autonomy also. So we'll be able to package this for any autonomous package, whether it's Waymo, Mobileye, Autoless Brains, and we don't care what perception stack. Our planning and our control stack allows for this to be fully driver capable and fully autonomous. And by the way, here's something that's really cool. I'm going to pivot and
now
allow
we have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Allows us to have a conversation and allows this to be an autonomous ready vehicle to be deployable.
Oh, and so like in an autonomous mode, this could be like an extra seat.
Yep. And then when you need a driver to take over or dual use for delivery, because not all the time people are giving rides, so you can use this vehicle for a combination of applications.
Oh yeah, because like you could pull the seats out. So the day when you're like, you want to have passengers,
just move the seat forward, put some packages, so you can vary the use of this application for between ride hail and delivery. And that's the beauty of this kind of a solution.
And this is later half of 2027.
27, yep.
Right. Okay,
Absolutely.
very cool. And
one more thing.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm going to take you guys out to the back and look at both vehicles.
Yeah, just see
because of the low flat floor, we can accommodate wheelchair accessible vehicle without a lift kit.
Oh, that's so good.
So let's go around the back and we'll take a look. What's going on here? Everything is on rails, and look at the low flat floor here.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, really low. That's super cool.
And this means you don't need a lift kit.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't even need the ramp, but we're going to store a ramp for those who need the wheelchair accessibility. The chairs can move forward and give you full access to wheelchairs. And of course, could be luggages, could be packages.
Yeah.
And so this flexibility, if you come over here to the cargo version, so this is the cargo version that we got here. And look at the space that you have. And the smart wheel technology means that there are no axles. And that's the only way that you can have a low flat floor like this.
Right.
Yeah, because there's no axles. There's only smart wheels on each side.
And I like that you have like the rail mount system here. You have like a translucent roof so that you can have lighting come in. So a lot of things.
In fact, you can step right in and you can almost stand up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 5'6", but I'm gonna go ahead. So I'm not like super tall, but that's basically maybe 5'2" of
for a Class 1 van. No, like the Transit Connect that's no longer available, you can never stand up like this.
Yeah.
And then, very low, easy to get in and out.
Very cool. Now, I noticed the FedEx on the side. Is that just for show? Or
No. FedEx was actually our Series B investor.
Very cool.
We just announced yesterday that we closed our Series B. FedEx is a strategic investor. You can see why they love the vehicle.
Yeah, definitely.
And Foxconn is also a strategic investor. And they have an Ohio plant that we're planning for manufacturing when it comes to final assembly and start of production.
Okay, so now some of the bigger questions about what our EV viewers want to know is like about the range, about the price point that you're looking at.
So we have two options, a 40 and a 60 kilowatt hour battery solution. And roughly the range would be somewhere just below 200 to about 260 miles.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, because it's lighter than any of the other conventional vehicles that are out there, because we're able to solve for the sprung mass to unsprung mass problem with the smart wheel.
Okay, and I was going to go over there.
I'll show you. Yeah, let's go over there. Let's go over there.
Because that's a question that when we've covered a couple of other vehicles that had motors in the wheel, has been, how do you deal with that weight that's in the wheel?
Traditionally, when you have a hub motor, which has been around for over 100 years, you can go all the way back to 1900 when hub motors was on the Ferdinand Porsche's first hybrid electric vehicle. And what you recognize is that conventional hub motors have a problem with adding unsprung mass on the wheels, which means you need 10 times more sprung mass in order to have a relatively stable ride and comfortable ride. Otherwise, you have problems with vehicle handling and with suspension issues. For us, and that's traditional two-mass physics problem. For us, we essentially created muscles. And this is the first smart wheel technology that has not only a hub motor that has torque in the rotational axis, but we have the same amount of torque that can be applied to the vertical axis at millisecond level response time. That means that we can keep the vehicle stable when there's a pothole or a bump. And the two-stator and one-rotor solution, we have 105 patents, by the way, around this smart wheel technology. Over probably 12 years now of development from the early days to now the version 5 of our smart wheel technology. So this now essentially creates the world's first smart wheel technology with 2 degrees of freedom to create that kind of roominess, low flat floor, stability, and comfort.
That's pretty cool. Like, we have a Mustang Mach-E, the GT Performance Edition with the Magna Ride, and they brag because they can, do those millisecond adjustments with the magnetic suspension. But this
brings it up to a whole new level.
You're doing it in the millisecond adjustments, but you have a lot more range of motion, and a lot of it is due to also having those sensors.
And not just dampening, because they only do the dampening.
Right.
We actually do the extension and the contraction. So it's 2 degrees of freedom.
So could you lift it up to go over like a little bit of a dip in the thing?
We have the ability to move the vehicle to have roll control, pitch control, yaw control, and bump control. And our ability to have 4 independent wheels that put torque on each wheel. That means also, you can do some kind of cool things that you've seen, the BYD U7 or the Neo ET9, in terms of being able to do a tank turn. So there's no other vehicle that has this kind of a solution that has low flat floor, space, comfort, stability. And so this is really the next generation that you see here. I was just at the Shanghai Auto Show last week.
Oh, very cool.
And the big hit over there was the Neo ET9 and the BYD U7, right?
Yeah.
But they have a separate active suspension system on a separate controller, separate power supply. And we have it all in our drivetrain.
Very cool. Now, this is going in your vehicle, but is there any intent of maybe licensing the technology?
Oh, absolutely. We already have OEMs talking to us about this technology and the platform, hardware, software solution for their vehicles. And to us, no problem. Our focus, of course, is delivering to our customers that are out there first. And we welcome a lot of the major OEMs that are already starting to talk to us.
That's really cool. Now, we do have another vehicle. Let's talk about this other one. This one is, the exciting thing about this is like you have a lot sooner timeline that we're talking about.
That's right. This right here is the dash. And this Indigo Dash allows you to have essentially a very small, lightweight vehicle. This is half the volume, half the range, about 110 miles, but also half the price. So after including with the tariffs and everything, after you get the $7,500 tax rebate, this is under $20,000.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And it's very nicely done, and it has the ability for seats or options without seats if you wanted to. The seats can fold down to facilitate both delivery of packages, food, or delivery of people. And it's very economical, very light. The low-speed version is already available today, and then the high-speed version is going to be available at the end of this year. It's going through homologation as we speak. And it's a great little vehicle. We've gotten a lot of interest, especially because of the price point and the applications.
Yeah. And this one does not have the smart wheels.
This one does not have the smart wheels.
But one of I think the interesting things, you're talking about 110 miles of range, but that's on a, what was it, like
30 kilowatt.
30 kilowatt.
30 kilowatt hour battery.
Kilowatt hour battery. So that's actually some really good efficiency for
It's very light. This is the lightest class, call it between a class 0 and a class 1 vehicle.
And so like customers that are buying this or looking at buying this, are they using it as passenger or cargo? Like
They're using it for a combination of, local delivery, local on-campus rides, local, security, local, and even a lot of people just want it to be a second car to be using around.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is like, so those look really cool. This, I still love just the compact size of it. Are there going to be sales to consumers?
We're focused on fleets right now, but we're also taking, we're taking orders for consumers as well. We're working with folks that, are dealing with services. In fact, those are some folks that are helping us set up a network of after-sales service so that nationwide we can cover services for these, and then later on, of course, services for that. With mechanics, handling warranty, handling repairs, and by setting up a network nationwide, this allows us to migrate from fleet sales to those who want to own it themselves also.
Yeah, because I wouldn't mind having this is like a perfect run around town vehicle.
For less than $20,000.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, a lot of other EV nerds like me will want to know the other technical stats as far as like how fast it charges. This isn't the type of thing you're going to take on a road trip where you're like, let me fast charge it as fast as possible.
Yeah, of course, AC, AC level 2 charging is standard. It'll go up to 60 kilowatt for a DC charge. For those who are utilizing this to, to tool around and to do their deliveries and do their rides, I think this would be a great little vehicle for everyday use.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and you don't have to have the super fast charging. Because 60 kilowatt charging with a 30 kilowatt hour battery, that's still pretty quick.
Yeah, in a few hours, definitely overnight, 30 kilowatt hour charge is pretty quick.
Yeah. This is really exciting. Like I said, those look fantastic. I really I can't wait to learn more. I'm going to go dig into the website. We'll put links down in the description.
Absolutely.
Because I want to learn more about the smart wheel technology. I've never seen anything like it. And every time we've done a video or talked about in-wheel motors, people are like, unsprung weight.
Yep.
So
we solved that problem completely because of the active suspension built in.
And I think a lot of it is like, people that are into the performance of their car, they're trying to reduce unsprung weight by spending a ton of money on lighter wheels. They can't imagine putting something as heavy as a motor in the wheel. So it's really exciting technology.
So imagine a skier that would have to come down the slope, and you ever seen those mogul skiers that they keep their body still and their knees are just going up and down?
Yeah.
Well, that's a similar principle. Is that we can train the vehicle to be like a mogul skier.
Yeah.
And the bottom becomes their muscles. So in fact, for a mogul skier, the stronger and bigger their muscles, the better.
Right.
So it's not like you're putting them on a chair and having a spring in between the skis and their chair, and then they'd be all over the place.
They would get ejected.
They'd be ejected. And that's the unsprung mass issue that we're talking about. So in our case, by training a smart wheel technology, we can actually have a smoother ride and a more safe ride, because so many vehicles have to deal with rollover accidents. In fact, vast majority of deaths in America and around the world is caused by rollover accidents because they couldn't handle the moose test.
The moose test, yeah. We've seen the horrible videos of people or cars failing the moose test. So
and that's a suspension issue, right?
Are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see our relative stability when you're turning around cones, because we don't have all that roll issue of staying on the road. We can keep the vehicle very, very stable during turns.
Well, this is really exciting. Like just looking, like I thought this was neat. I saw one of these outside with the ride and drive. I was like, that's amazing.
You should drive it. You should go and check it out.
I want to see if we can fit that in. We got like another hour, I think, to fit that in.
It's got an incredible turning radius, and it's just so easy and fun to drive.
But really, the Smart Wheel, I think, is the star of this booth.
Smart Wheel is absolutely the star in the future. And we've gotten so many feedback of just the incredible riding position, the space, the low flat floor. So we've gotten just tremendous positive feedback from the show.
Well, just as every time we've walked by, this booth is completely packed. There's always people looking at it. And now we're on day 2. We're getting close to closing time, and you still got a lot of people over here. So I think that shows the interest, and I'm really excited to see both or all 3 of these out on the city streets.
Me too.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
That was even cooler than I expected. When somebody says like Smart Wheel or Smart this or Smart that, sometimes you have doubts, but that Smart Wheel looks really fantastic and cool. Glad to talk to Will and learn a lot more about that and this upcoming vehicle as well as the one over there. I wouldn't mind having either of these in our garage. This just looks really cool. That seems really practical. Really cool stuff. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully we will get to do follow-up videos on this as we get a chance to maybe drive this or something like that in the future. Thank you to our Patreon members. Your names are scrolling down below. You are the guys and gals that help get us to things like ACT Expo and get us in here so that we can make these videos for you. Thank you to our YouTube subscribers and our YouTube members. You guys also help us get to these type of events. And as Liv would say, whatever you drive, whether it has a smart wheel or a dumb wheel, enjoy the ride. Bye.